Ladies and gentlemen, this week has been very tumultuous politically, very hot politically. A lot of things going on between the ongoing search and rescue recovery efforts for the Texas flood. We have ongoing ICE raids in California. One most recently resulted in one worker unfortunately losing his life. Um, the strikes in Philadelphia have come to a tentative end. There hasn't been a formal agreement yet put in place, but it looks like the workers and the trash collectors are going to be heading back to work soon to get that situation resolved. But I primarily wanted to first focus on how Texas officials are handling the recovery effort because I want people to look at how Republicans manage a crisis. Before they want to start raising pitchforks for dismantling FEMA and dismantling organizations that provide recovery relief, which are things that Republicans are pushing for.
Devastating floods in central Texas have claimed at least 110 lives, with 161 people still missing. Kerr County was the hardest hit, 87 lives lost, including 30 children. Governor Greg Abbott there touring the damage today and spoke with President Trump, who promised federal aid and mental health support. But questions are growing about delayed alerts and evacuations. Officials say they were not warned about the Guadalupe River's rapid rise until hours after Friday's flash flood alert.
Which I'm going to call cap on because they were warned well before Friday about a rains and the impending flood. An initial flood watch, which generally urges residents to be weather aware, was issued by the local National Weather Service office at 1:18 p.m. Thursday. It predicted between 5 to 7 inches of rain. Weather messaging from the office, including automated alerts delivered to mobile phones to people in threatened areas, grew increasingly ominous in the early morning hours of Friday, urging people to move to higher ground and evacuate flood-prone areas, said Jason Runyon, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. At 4:03 a.m., now this is 4:03 on Friday, the office issued an urgent warning that raised the potential of catastrophic damage and a severe threat to human life. That came from the National Weather Service. Jonathan Porter, the chief meteorologist at AccuWeather, a private weather forecasting company that uses National Weather Service data and also is in competition with the National Weather Service. AccuWeather actually wants to privatize weather services and weather evaluations and stuff like that. So they want to get rid of the National Weather Service. But anyway, they said it appeared evacuations and other proactive measures could have been undertaken to reduce the risk of fatalities. But local officials said they have not expected such an intense downpour that was the equivalent of months worth of rain in the area. We know we get rains. We know the river rises, said Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, the county's top elected official, but nobody saw this coming. It sounds like the National Weather Service saw something coming, maybe not something to this destructive effect, but maybe it wouldn't have had such a destructive effect if people were appropriately warned. It's not the National Weather Service's primary role to get their warnings out to local areas. It is of the job of the local officials to warn their communities. And the National Weather Service gave the advisory literally a day before this even happened. But I want you guys to hear what Governor Greg Abbott had to say about his role in all this. And again, all this is happening amidst the backdrop of FEMA being cut, of the National Weather Service funding being cut, climate change not being a remote care for the Trump administration, but yet their communities and the people that vote for him are going to be dealing with these devastating climate change impacts. We're already seeing it. This is a once-in-a-century flood. Meanwhile, it seems like California is having a once-in-a-century firestorm that sets half the state on fire. And it seems like other places around the world that are sensitive to climate change are having record level of climate damage. But we don't want to acknowledge any of that for the sake of corporate interests.
The governor addressed concerns over who is to blame.
Texas, every square inch of our state, cares about football. You could be in Hunt.
Greg, where are you going to go with this? Why, when there are children missing, are you talking about football? Children still missing. As the banner says right there on the bottom, 110 Texans are dead, 161 are still missing. And you're talking about football, Greg.
Texas, Huntsville, Texas, Houston, Texas, any size community that care about football, high school, Friday night lights, college football, or pro. And know this, every football team makes mistakes. The losing teams are the ones that try to point out who's to blame. The championship teams are the ones that say, don't worry about it, man, we got this. We're going to make sure that we go score again, that we're going to win this game. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions.
Governor.
Bro, what is that? If you was even trying to make an analogy, what was that analogy? Because if you want to go from a losing team to a winning team, what you need to do is acknowledge what you're doing wrong so you can get better. This is how I know Greg is a Cowboys fan, because the Cowboys don't get better.
Governor Abbott also said helping the affected areas recover will be on the agenda when lawmakers convene for a special session in 2 weeks. Former Texans star J.J. Watt, speaking of football, is praising Coast Guard hero Scott Ruskin, who saved 165 people during the Texas floods. On July 4th, Ruskin led a massive rescue at a summer camp, coordinating 12 helicopters. Watt called him a hero in a post, you see it here, on X.
Tonight, owning a home in Los Angeles may feel more out of reach.
And again, this is all happening. Texas is suffering right now, and another country has stepped in to provide assistance because Mexico has sent firefighters to the state of Texas to assist with the recovery efforts. Firefighters from Mexico, who are highly trained in search and rescue, have participated in missions all over the world, are assisting with the recovery efforts in Texas. A 13-person crew composed of members from the Rescate Acuático de Protección Civil de Bomberos de Acuña, Coahuila, in coordination with Fundación 911, joined local Texas firefighters in rescue efforts following the devastating flash floods in the Texas Hill Country. Get them out. Nope. Out of here. Bad hombres. I don't want them. They're saving our people, trying to take credit. They think they're freaking Superman out here. I'm the Superman, okay? Okay, folks? Let's see what our Superman is doing while Mexico is sending their just absolute worst.
I don't know who you are, but only a very evil person would ask a question like that. Is the press going to be respectful of this event, this horrible event, this horrible tragedy? Please, yes, go ahead, please.
Marissa Admas here with CBS News Texas. Several families we've heard from are obviously upset because they say that those warnings, those alerts didn't go out in time, and they also say that people could have been saved. What do you say to those families?
Well, I think everyone did an incredible job under the circumstances. This was like,
I think everybody did a great job. They say we lost 30-something children. We could have lost 40-something children. Could have been much worse. I think we did fantastic. High fives all around.
I guess Christie said a 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 years. And I just have admiration for the job that everybody did. There was just admiration. The only bad person would ask a question like that, to be honest with you. I don't know who you are, but only a very evil person would ask a question like that. I think this has been heroin.
You're so evil for even thinking to ask me who's at fault for this terrible catastrophe. You're just a sick, vile person, not the person who wants to take away help to provide all these people. But you are the evil one, whichever evil news organization you work for, whether it be ABC, CNN, 123, you're all 666 to me, devil.
This has been incredible, really, the job you've all done. It's easy to sit back and say, oh, what could have happened here or there, you know. Maybe we could have done something differently. This was a thing that has never happened before. And nobody's ever seen anything. I've never seen anything like this. I've gone to...
Y'all peep that fly that just landed on Trump's shoulder? He was like, buzz. I smell the bullshit. I smell the bullshit coming out your mouth, buddy. I smell
some
it.
real bad ones.
Look at that, right on his shoulder,
I've never
crawling
seen
all over
anything
him. You
like
don't even
this,
feel it.
so,
Smells good over here. Smell like bullshit.
I admire you, and I consider you
It's still there.
heroes and heroine.
It is still there.
I think you've done an
The
amazing
independent
job.
cutaway. I wonder how long that
Surreal
fly
coming
was there
back here
smelling the
30
shit.
years later.